Hey everybody, we're back with more Final Fantasy IX. Alright. Let's take that ship to Lindblum, shall we? Where's my analog not working? That's better. Alright, so let's take that ship to Lindblum. We're gonna hijack it. Nope, didn't look a thing like you, Vivi. Let's go. Little quicker, Vivi. Little quicker, got it. Get on. Go, 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 go. Alright, and there we go. What is it? Hmm. Strange. Let's go hijack this ship. I wonder. Anyway, let's go do this. Alright. Yeah, well, that goes for you. Anyway. Oh, there we go. Black Waltz number 3. You alright, little spider? Vivi is probably one of the best characterized characters in the series. Which is interesting considering he's a child. Do what you want to do, just don't crash shit. I mean, the fact that he's a child is important to his story, but he ends up with some of the best character growth in the series. It's also moments like these that I like Steiner before he gets his character development. Alright. Vivi's trance gives us double cast. It makes Vivi's trance one of the more useful ones. But again, you can't rely on trance. Do it again. Black Quartz number 3 isn't a particularly difficult fight. Though I do always consider it as marking the end of the first arc of the game, which is the Kidnap Princess arc. There it is. It is pretty short. It comes up to about 10 hours. How you doing, Clint? Let me change that. You don't want to stick around and see some FF9? Oh, there you go. Punch it, Garnet. Okay. Doesn't look like an airship, looks more like a flying car. Stay on target. Stay on target. Stay on target. Yes. Yeah, I mentioned this in the previous session, but I think a big part of the reason why this one is so short is because of how many FMVs it's loaded up with. You consider the amount of space a CD can hold in total being around 700 megabytes. And how much space are these, like, each FMVs taking up on the disc? Like I said, I think FMVs are the only reason FF9 takes 4 discs. I think otherwise it could have probably been a 3-disc game. Days when we had world maps and they were fun. We lost those in the PS2 era. were we though? Of course you're not the same, baby. You're smaller, more powerful, have sentience. I do like how everybody's always so supportive of DD. Speaking of world maps though, Final Fantasy IX's world map is really strange in comparison with 7 and 8. But in particular, Final Fantasy IX spends a lot of time in a small portion of the world. It's arguably the best. Like, even though 7's my favourite, 9 has a lot of quality to it. And I definitely appreciate the things it does differently to 7 and 8. I don't know. I mean, one of the issues we've definitely had recently is a lot of remakes. And there's been a lot of these older games getting remakes. And the question is definitely the necessity of it. I don't think so, honestly. I think the main reason, like, FF7 remake works as an idea is that it's doing its own different thing in the same world. I think the best thing, if we're going to get a remake of FF9, I kind of want it to be like the remake of FF4. I'd want it to be the same game with better graphics, and that'd be kind of it. And ultimately, what's the point of that? So I think it probably doesn't need a remake, but it could do with an actual remaster, maybe? And I mean like an actual remaster, not the remaster that FF8 got. Exactly, that's always a problem that runs with that kind of thing. But then Final Fantasy VIII Remaster is also arguably inferior to the original. The new 3D models look nice, but the rest of the game looks worse. It also has various glitches and bugs, it plays worse, and arguably performs worse than the original, and at its core is the same game. It's not improved or changed mechanically, and when overall it ends up playing worse than the original, what was the point? So I think, like, actual remaster, yes, FF9 would definitely benefit from that. Remake? No, I think it'd be pointless. And FF9 isn't a game with enough intrigue, like FF7 had, to really make a remake like that worth doing. Like, say you took the entirety of Disc 1 of FF9 and stretched it out to a full game, what would you ultimately get out of it? This is one of my favourite SIDs. Largely because he's one of the SIDs with the most characterization in the series. Soup to silence, huh? Rachel, right? Josephine? Lucy? And this is Freya, one of the best Dragoons of the series. Who do we name as Freya? Dragoon, but not with the surname Highwind, making, I think, it makes her the first main Dragoon in the series to not have the surname Highwind. Who could forget Dear Rat Girl? But don't you get it, Bane? It's the Legend of Dragoon. What do we got? Ricard. We have Ricard Highwind in 2, Kane Highwind in 4, Sid Highwind in 7, but then the rest of the series don't have Dragoon-specific characters. They're all job classes. I don't remember. Let me check real quick. What was Arenea's surname in 15? Because I don't think it was Highwind. It was Highwind. Huh. Arenea Highwind. They never call her that. Yeah, but I'd argue Fang isn't a Dragoon either. Freya's last name is Crescent, which is interesting. No details on why she isn't called Highwind. Probably going to want to do some grinding before the Festival of the Hunt. Get some abilities. I think we're introduced to synthesis around this point as well. Yeah, I've already got, I think, 2. If I don't, I'm definitely going to get the Ogre. Like I said last time, the double-bladed weapons that Zidane gets are just much better for attack. But yeah, we're gonna go and do some stuff around Lindblum before the hunt. I'm not sure yet. I think, in terms of the item you get, Freya is the best one to win. Unless you want to play Tertiary Master, in which case you want Vivi to win. But there is an element of pride to having Zidane win. Coral Ring, yeah. Come and go. Yep, down in the theatre district. Meanwhile... Is there anything specific I need to be aware of these? No, there isn't. Meanwhile, at the Tower of Doom... Yeah, let's go. Where do we go? Cool. Didn't I change the color of this? I'm sure I changed this to blue. Alright. Let's take a look at this. So I could do with replacing leather shirt anyway. I like the shade of blue in this game, it's a really nice shade. Red mage, huh? Hey, how you doing, Nelson? Do the posture check. How you doing, Nelson? You want to try one? They're not free. The worse they smell, the better they taste. Like eggs. Lying down flat? No, I'm up pretty straight. Not flat. Remember, don't eat your pickles whole. This one. I like how towns are presented in this game, because they feel populated. Like, more so than 7 or 8. Alright, show me what you got. Bane's right, another mage masher will be a good idea. Mithril dagger. Glass armlet. Get one of these, see what it does for me. Right, we'll have some grinding to do. I don't mind ability grinding as much as I mind level grinding. Ability grinding feels more reasonable. Right, butterfly sword and the ogre. So I'm going to want a third mage masher anyway. Desert boots will be a good idea. Yellow scarf and glass buckle. They're well presented, like, definitely so. Like I say, they feel more like actual places people would live in than any of the towns in 7 or 8. Arguably 10 as well. I think that's kind of contrasted though by the 2 major towns, by there only being 2 major towns in this game. Lindblum and Alexandria. Let's do some grinding. Remember where this is. Alright. So ideally, all I'm really aiming to do is fill up the ability meters we've got, so we can equip new stuff to put new abilities on. In particular, though, the one we really want to finish is Mage Matcher. Because the sooner we can replace that with a double-bladed weapon, the sooner we can start killing enemies a lot quicker. The difference in power between your two single-bladed weapons and a double-bladed weapon is ridiculous. It's to the point where I would argue, like, you have no chance really in winning the hunt if you don't have a double-bladed weapon. Come on. So next time we do this fight, definitely kill this guy first. The good news is potions are actually really cheap in this game. We need 14 more for that. Spiders can inflict slow, which is frustrating, but it's not as bad as sleep. Even that isn't doing as much damage as the other enemy did. I think this game also strikes the balance between old school Final Fantasy battle menus and what Final Fantasy had tried to do in minimizing them. Because like previously, Final Fantasy battle menus took up a considerable chunk of it. In the NES Final Fantasies, it was like maybe two-thirds of the screen. In the Super Nintendo Final Fantasies and FF7, it was about a third of the screen. And then FF8 came along and massively reduced all of it. But probably too much, making like just getting the information you need out of the battle menu like harder to get. But I think FF9 manages to strike the balance. Got it. Trance. That's all well and good. You'll notice we had half a trance bar left. Not anymore. Trance is gone as soon as you end a battle. It doesn't matter if you have a full trance bar, half a trance bar, a little bit of a trance bar. The minute you get trance in a fight...
Stop! He's already dead!
The minute you get a trance bar... in battle, like, that's it. It's gone. Not like limit breaks where you can save them for the next battle. It happens often enough. Like, your trance bar fills up just as somebody else does the fight.
Stop! Stop! He's already dead!
No, the sound alerts are there for everybody, Nelson. Just speed that up a little bit. Right, how many AP is that? 2. The thing with the sounds is now we've got enough sounds that you can't list them in one message, so the bottle post means 2. That's not good. This might actually be a death, depending on what this one does. Yeah. 2 minutes to midnight. These things are just nasty. Slightly after noon. which would probably put you on the west coast of the US. Suck it, sand bitch. Right, how we doing? 6 more. Everything gets easier after we max out the abilities for Mage Matcher. Civic Standard, yeah. Go. If you could get a crit on one of these guys, I'd appreciate it. If you could be faster than one of these guys, I'd appreciate, you know, with you being a thief. But yeah, the commands are there for people in chat to use, Nelson, if you want to use one of them. Alright, so that is 4 left. How are we doing on health? Oh. $41. Trance is really not helpful right now. Especially because the attack has gone through and he's now going to count part of the trance meter. That's irritating. Didn't really even do that much extra damage either. Trance is endlessly frustrating in this game. So I think 2 more points, so 1 more battle. Yeah, that's the newest one that was added, and I added it last month, I think. Because there hadn't been any new ones added in a while. Right. Trance would have absolutely been better for this fight. Oh yeah, because we did hit that, didn't we? I'm so glad I managed to get that. That entire thing was so stressful. I think next time we do Skies of Arcadia, we will just stick with the Dreamcast version. I actually got an uncensored hack for it, which will be nice. It's not that much. Like, there's not much that was censored in the game. There we go. Thanks, Bane. The main thing is... during the final fight with Ramirez, like the first part of the final fight with Ramirez, like, he holds his sword up, sticks his hand on the blade, and cuts it. And in the original Japanese version, blood comes out of his hand. But it was censored in all the releases. And the uncensored patch, like, brings that back. There's other censorship issues there as well, like, originally, the Loqua, the drink they drink, it was rum. It was absolutely rum. But they changed it to Loqua in the West, but, like, it works fine. It's a fruit juice made with moonstones, it works fine. It carries across the same tone of alcohol. The chrono facts may or may not be actual facts. So now we get the butterfly sword, and like, look at the attack difference there. True, I am not implicated in the destruction of Krypton. Did you know that for some reason in the Superman movie, Marlon Brando always pronounces Krypton as Krypton? Ah, the Fibonacci sequence. Alright, let's make the ogre. The ogre is better than the butterfly. Ethereal dagger, really? I'll save that for when I get the party back. Back that way. Alright, that'll do. Alright, let's go do some stuff. Honestly, if I was going to go through all the chrono facts like that, I would just copy-paste exclamation mark chrono fact with a space after it, and then just add 1, 2, 3, 4. Easiest way of doing it. They're there for people to be amused by. So you're doing the Fibonacci sequence. So yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. So next will be 13. Be back. Nah, it's all about having fun, Nelson. God damn it. Why did that not wake him up? You see the difference? A little personal. Honestly, which hand I use for what depends. Like, I'll write with my left, but I'll cut with scissors with my right. I'll use a fork with my left, but I'd use a sword with my right. It depends. Get him! This is the whole thing with Zidane. You can either have Zidane using two-handed... You can either have him using, like, two one-handed swords, or you can have him be useful in a fight. Yeah, dual blade looks better and is also just better for the attack. Right, let me see if there's anything for the wrist. And celebration, yeah. Generally, unless you're learning abilities, there's no reason to ever have the 2 blades. What do I need for the wrist stuff? Need another steepled hat. But this doesn't do anything for me, right? So I just need to go and get a steepled hat. Yeah. Yeah, for a long time, like, it's like you say, get the Ogre now, it's really useful. You won't replace it for a long time. And when you do, it'll be for another double blade. Antibody is worth learning. So we'll learn antibody first and then do these. I think for the sake of moving on though, we could just equip the... You know what, no, we'll just fast forward the game. My RetroArch hotkey for actually activating hotkeys is select. Which is why the menu pops up when I do stuff. But by holding select and R2, I've got it set so we can fast forward stuff. Why are you still asleep? And basically just like that. Is I'm perfectly okay to sit here and grind for an hour or two to get those abilities. But it doesn't make for a very interesting stream. It's always the balance you have with stuff like this. When you're playing RPGs and streaming, the balance you have to make between what you would do on your own time and what will make for at least a stream that feels like it's going somewhere. Goddamn back row attacks. Bright eyes, burning like fire. What's the thing, like, you remember I did do grinding on stream? And then I stopped doing that, specifically because of one game. Alright, let's call this grinding here. We can get those other abilities as we go on later. Right now, we can do this and just go into the Festival of the Hunt. But yeah, it was like Digital Devil Saga 2. Those 3 sessions, those 3 consecutive sessions spent grinding, it was like 10 hours grinding. 3 sessions of nothing but grinding. And then we still had to grind more later. Grinding off stream is somewhat freeing in that regard. For example, in FF7 it allowed me to just grind to level 99. Which I wouldn't have done if I was grinding on stream. Final Fantasy 13 grinding to hit the like the max we could hit in the Crystarium. Festival of the Hunt's a good track. Alright, let's go and head to the Theatre District. Yeah, pretty much. Like, the big thing with that was, like, I showed everybody how... Because when I grind off stream, I will make a point to do a separate save file from where we last saved. So you can see specifically where we were versus where we are, how much time has been spent grinding. With FF13, it was at least 12 hours. It was like between 10 and 15 hours grinding, which included doing most of the missions. I unlocked the chocobos for Grand Pulse. And I maxed out the Crystarium as far as it could go at that time. And then the rest of that chapter was nothing but free experience for that. And then we unlocked the next stage of the Crystarium, and all that experience we had gotten from that point still wasn't enough to fill up the next level. It was absolutely ridiculous. As soon as you hit Grand Pulse, Final Fantasy 13 expects you to grind. People say, oh, you just... I saw a post on Reddit literally this week that was like, I've just hit Grand Pulse, do I have to do grinding to progress the game? And people are like, no, you just have to know the battle system. And it's like, no you don't. You can know the battle system, and it's not going to help you when you're dealing with the King Behemoths. The Kaiser Behemoths. Like the ones where you'll stagger them and start getting the health down, and then they'll pull the blade out of their head, stand up, regain full health, and the stagger meter will go to 0. And all of a sudden you've got a real problem because now they're back to full health, and you're fighting 2 of them at once. As soon as you hit Grand Pulse, the game demands that you grind. Yeah, also basically never having money in that game as soon as it started to become a requirement. Not all of them. The earlier ones don't do that. That only starts on Grand Pulse. Because you'll fight a few of them in Cocoon, or a few Behemoth variants in Cocoon. And I was paying attention when we were streaming it, because I was expecting them to do it. And the only ones that started doing it began with the variants that you meet on Grand Pulse. It's possible, because I've not done those. But yeah, 13 is so grinding. Alright, here we are. I can believe it. I'm pretty sure I said during 13, but like, the numbers they put in by the end of the game are just absurd, because they don't mean anything. It's like, oh, and regular enemies will have millions of hit points. But in regular attacks, you'll be doing tens of hundreds of thousands of damage. And it's like, cool, what would it matter if we took off a bunch of these zeros? It's one thing I do kind of like a lot of the Shin Megami Tensei games for. They keep the numbers low. And it's a similar thing like the Mario RPGs do. The Mario RPGs never go that high in numbers, because there's never really a need to. Are you? Open all these chests. Meanwhile, somewhere between the Evil Forest and Lindblum. This track sounds a lot like Delling City from FF8. It is good at this point to see that Tantalus made it out then. There's a good chance you wouldn't expect a bunch of the sound alerts we've got. Like, where's the thing? There it is. I don't remember what conversation is.
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
That's fair enough. I don't remember what despair is.
Sadness, endless, despair, feel no more coldness, broken, no sound, feel no pain, captured, helpless, unmade, dreadful fate, horrors, lifeless, no breath, falling down.
That's a Persona 4 thing. This one. Absolutely. I'm sure somebody will find good use of that one, Boone.
What's gonna happen to us?
Ignorance, Let It Out, Man, Mantis, Memories, Moment, Monster, Monsters, Move Fast, Nature, No.
No! No!
Objection, Oh, Ready, Reaver, Rest. Rest. What's rest?
We need rest. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is spongy and bruised.
Yeah, I forgot I added that one. Ride, Self-Destruct, Shared, Shocker, Smart. I don't think you guys have seen Smart. I remember what that one is, though.
If he's so smart, how come he's dead?
Soul, Stop, Storm, Stranger, Success, Thrill, Trigger, Unenlightened, Wayworthy, Wrong, yeah. Yeah, I know what the rest of those are. Yeah, I'm sure you'll come up with some good uses for them, Bane. To the castle. No. Ideally, as far as pausing the game goes, if we're gonna chat about something, I try and keep the game moving while we're doing it. Glass armlet. Excellent. Now antibody will level up at twice the rate. I have a letter for you. Stiltskin did stop in Lindblum. Alright, let's go. Find Princess Garnet. They should probably get better guards. No, you're thinking of a different game, Nelson. Persona 2. Also Persona 1, but like more Persona 2. That berry charges outrageous prices to heal. Playing that game. I don't know, I'm supposed to be doing like all the SMT stuff we're doing with Chance. Darn it, where did you get the harp? And where did the harp go? Ideally, we're going to be getting back to Persona 3 sometime soon. I don't know when I'm ever actually going to play the Witcher games. I started The Witcher 2 for myself and just kind of stopped. But that's just kind of the story of my life at this point. Southgate. Chocobo Forest. Strange Swamp. Amicia. There's Alexandria. Fortunately, members of Tantalus are all thieves with hearts of gold. I don't know if I want to do chocographs. It's a lot of work. And we all know where the chocographs lead. We all know my opinion on that. I'm gonna drug you. Use steer to steer. Just a perspective. Where is the harp coming from? Well, we know where the song comes from. It's probably, like, magically inclined. royal action figures. Who's making toys of the Queen and her royal guard? I like that Sid being an Oglop has actual consequences. Just the harp sound. And no, I think the idea that the song itself is magical probably works better. It's magical. Whenever she starts singing it, harp music comes in accordingly. Because magic. That's good work, everybody. Proud of you. Don't worry, if we get first place, she won't be mad at us anymore. I feel like the Festival of the Hunt is just generally a bad idea. We're gonna let loose a bunch of monsters in the city for people to hunt down and kill. And it's like, okay, but what about the prospective damage to the city? Alright, let's prep for this. Yep. Actually, like, a real dick move there. Yeah, guild add-on on a card. The best result of all of these is absolutely the add-on. I have no interest in playing Petromaster if I can avoid it. And we can get money anywhere. So, of all the people, we will absolutely want Freya to win. We're gonna aim for Freya. But ideally, anybody except Vivi. Because at the end of the day, we can use Gil. If we get Gil, we can use Gil. If we get a card, it's like, there's no use for that. Yeah, ideally Freya. Alright, let's go. I can't believe the Festival of the Hunt only has 3 competitors. Yeah, you think that'd make more sense. Especially since you have the chance to lose. There it goes. Now's your chance. Alright, rock and or roll. France is going to come up too soon for it to be useful. Yeah, that kind of result is exactly why having one of the 2-bladed weapons is worth having. Being able to take as many of these enemies out in a single hit as possible is absolutely the result you want. And at the end of the day, regardless of who we're going to get to win, we want to get to the Zangoli so we can have a shot at choosing who wins. It's honestly crazy how much of a jump the double-bladed weapons are over the twin blades. It feels like you're cheating in regards to that. the hell's Ivan? I mean, there are people in this besides me, Chance, and Bane. So ideally build up a decent number of points here. Lanny is participating. Ideally we want to build up a decent amount of points here, and then when the Zangoli is released, we can get straight in there and do the fight properly. The important thing with that is whoever gets the killing blow. Whoever gets the killing blow for that gets the points. So whoever gets the killing blow, if you make it to the Zangola fight and you manage to win, whoever gets the killing blow is probably going to win the hunt. And that's a waste of trance. This is exactly why I say trance is not something you can rely on. 100 points. There. Really wishing I had counter. Yeah, how are we doing? '97 with 10 points behind. Yeah, I'm running out of time. The frustrating thing with the Zangoli fight is that it's labelled as like the Zangoli is labelled as a problem and something they hope the people in the festival can deal with. But as soon as time runs out, even in the middle of battle, like that's it. You're done. 131. Bane's pulling out in front pretty fast. I feel like I'm not gonna find the Zangoli in time. Come on, come on. What is Freya killing that she keeps getting points like this? Oh, we are not killing this in time. No, that's gonna be it.
Success!
Good work, Bane. I screwed up with finding the Zangola. It's the best reward, though. Power of the Ogre. Then reinforcements immediately. What are the reinforcements? A monkey-tailed thief, a black mage child, and one of your own soldiers. Ragtag group of misfits. Absolutely. Pretty much. Although I think Final Fantasy IX does end up making good use of its cast. Which is something that really starts to happen here as the party splits up and goes in different directions. Including Kina, yeah, we have to get Kina. How you doing, Teak? No, I'd argue Freya's fairly important. Arguably more important than Steiner as a character. It helps that Final Fantasy IX has a pretty well-rounded cast, though. That most of them are useful. Like, it's less of an issue than, say, FF7, where there are always characters you aren't going to use. It's like, yeah, it's the preferred party being Zidane, Vivi, Garnet, Steiner makes sense, but having Freya in that party will also work. Aiko can work as a replacement for Garnet, and Amaran isn't an awful character to use. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Kina, there you go. You can lose Kina. Like, Kina's a fun addition, but Kina you can lose. And ideally, if I don't have to have Kina in the party, I don't have Kina in the party. Blue magic can be decent if you spend the time to learn it. Kina's method of learning blue magic is one of the more tedious methods in the series. I still think as far as learning blue magic goes, Strago is the best in the series for that. Like, just having to see the magic happen. You could argue Vivi doesn't have a whole lot of connection to the central plot. It's just that Vivi's there for most of the game. Vivi's central character development revolves entirely around the Black Mages. But you can argue that Freya's entire thing with Venetia and her race, and the war Alexandria wages against her country, is about as relevant. The Black Mages are involved, but they don't involve Vivi directly as a character. Vivi's whole thing with that isn't about the Black Mages being involved, it's about him learning what the Black Mages are in relevance to him. Alright, abilities. No, it's worth grabbing Keenan now as we're going past. Just to fill up the extra party slot. Of course, the real problem with Keenan is the regular attacks are so random in the damage they do. Ultimately, with this game, though, I think all of the characters generally have enough relevance to the plot to really justify their existence. I think it helps that the cast is also not particularly... By the time we start introducing a couple of the later characters, the earlier characters are a good way into their character development. So it doesn't step on anybody's toes a whole lot. And one thing to definitely give this over FF7 is the plot progresses as characters develop. The game doesn't really have an issue where the plot stops so we can learn about other characters in the party. Which 7 does a couple of times. Plus, it's also better than what FF8 does, of not generally, like, we see ideas and bits of character growth and progression. In characters in Final Fantasy VIII, but ultimately the only characters who really get relevance are Squall and Rinoa. And then the game later turns around and says, yeah, everybody came from the same place. Everybody came from the same orphanage, so you're all childhood friends. And then that's kind of it for a lot of them. Like, so much of FF8 is these other characters in your party just kind of being there. It's another area that Final Fantasy VIII falls down with. The whole thing of focusing on the love story it wants to present, to the detriment of so many other plot elements, while the love story itself isn't that good to begin with. Yeah. Like, it's frustrating with 8, because 8 has good ideas. Like I've said before, the idea with FF8 of, like, particularly how Garden has raised the seeds as child soldiers, essentially. Like, oh yeah, they're expert mercenaries trained in combat for years. Cool, they're also teenagers, which means you've been training them since they were children. And the various emotional mental effects that could have. On top of that, the GFs just wiping long-term memories from their brains, which directly affects Squall in that he's never been able to confront and process the emotional trauma he has from alone leaving him to be adopted. Like, there's a story there that could be interesting, and FF8 ignores so much of it to present Squall and Rinoa as a love plot that isn't good. Like, if the romance story in FF8 was at least decent, you could forgive a bunch of it, but it's not. So whatever faults FF9 has with the characters, it's a step above 8. Of course, FF10 then also has a generally good cast that are well presented. Although that might also be the game story benefiting from a singular focus. That being the pilgrimage. They're on a journey, there's a start and an end. It is John DiMaggio. We'll get to it when we get to FF10, but like, I think FF10 has genuinely good voice acting, especially for the time. Like, especially for the time, and especially for the restrictions that Square placed on them for localizing it. There we go. Is Freya in the back row there? That's not right. Yeah, I know it's all weaker, and then you don't learn anything from it anyway. All the coups have names that start with QU. Wanted to keep that tradition going. So this is Kulim. Yeah, sure. Alright. But that is Kulim in our party now. So that's all we really need from Ku's march. Yeah, alright. Gotcha. On that yellow one. Alright, it's 2 males, 2 females. Damn it, that yellow one just hopped on the ground. I could have got it. Gotcha. Better than catching fish in FF6. That's all of them. Yeah, and butterflies in turn. Alright, so let's get out of here. So Kina's the blue mage. You gotta weaken enemies and then eat them as Kina to gain their abilities. Only works with some enemies. You won't find out what enemies those are until you eat them. Kina's regular attack, though, is basically randomized damage. Sometimes it'll do really well, sometimes it'll do really poorly. And it's frustrating. Right now, it's better to have Kina than not have Kina, because it's another character to use in the battle. But if you have the choice of anybody else, I'd always say go with anybody else. I'm going to pause this right here, and we are going to do a BRB. And then we'll push on a little further. Find out how much further after this. Be right back. Alright, we're back. God damn. I went out of my way at one point to, like, spend a bunch of time weakening various enemies. For Kina to eat. And generally, like a lot of blue magic in the series, it's not overly worth it. And like, Clint will turn around and say, oh, but in Final Fantasy VII, learning enemy skills is worth it because there's so much you can do with them. And it's like, yeah, there's good stuff you can get out of there, but also the game isn't really hard enough to require it. And it's kind of similar with this. There's never really a point in the game where you require blue magic. Or a point in the game where it'll make the game substantially easier for you. Easy enough to justify the time and effort spent on farming the blue magic. Yeah, you can get through 7 without enemy skills, and it's what I generally do. Because while there are some useful enemy skills, the effort it takes to get them generally isn't worth the time you save using them. And having done enemy skill playthroughs in 7, it's why both of the streams I've done of FF7 did not have them. It is, I'm not going to disagree with you on that. But also generally, like, Aria in FF7 just isn't great to begin with. And like, White Wind is a decent heal spell. Magic Missile is like pretty good for the MP it costs, and it's a multi-target spell. Like, there is value in it. It's just, does that value outweigh the time spent farming it? And especially in FF7, the answer is no. And most of the enemy skills can be useful, but are they useful enough to justify the time it takes to get them? Is my point. Like, there's always the argument for getting beta as early as possible. Like, if you grind to a point where you can fight the Midgard Zone and survive beta, like, that will carry you throughout most of Disc 1 just using that. Of course, there's also the thing, like, if you're going to grind to the point where you can survive beta, you're not going to have trouble with Disc 1 anyway. Yeah, it's fair enough. It's one of those things, I don't begrudge the people who want to spend the time learning them, getting them. Same as in FFA, I don't begrudge the people who want to spend the time playing Triple Triad to get all the various benefits you get from Triple Triad. And just at the point now where I don't find it worthwhile. Yeah, like Pandora's Box. Shadowflare is a good one. It's possible enemy skills might have more viability in FF7 if it wasn't for the fact that everybody can do everything. Like, if it was more a case like FF6 or FF9, where everybody has their own specific styles and skills they can use, and one character had enemy skill, then it would absolutely be super useful. But everybody can use every type of magic. Yeah, that's definitely a waste. There's the interesting thing with Kimahri in the original release of 10 as well, that his sphere grid left him really kind of underpowered. But people generally quite like what you can do with Kimahri using the expert sphere grid. I wonder why the world is yellow over here. Right, there's the grotto. There it is. Thank you, Choco. Alright, let's go. It's actually a thought I've had when I get to FF10. Like, am I gonna do the normal sphere grid or the expert sphere grid? Because I've never used the expert sphere grid, and it's been a long time since I've actually gone through FF10. Always use the expert sphere grid. No, I've only used the expert, the normal sphere grid. I'll be honest with you, stuff like that, especially stat management, like manual stat management, always makes me kind of anxious. Oh, jeez. Like, it's one of the more stressful parts of playing Shin Megami Tensei for me. Alright, there we go. There's always the worry of, like, what if I screw up my stats and lock myself into a dead game later? And similar does apply to FF10's expert sphere grid. Here we go. Nice. That's nice. I look forward to hurting them. Do not like Zorn and Thorn. Thanks for healing him. Appreciate it. I don't know, I'm kind of interested to see how I end up doing with the Gambit and license systems in FF12. There are elements to that will be complicated, but I'm also usually pretty good with setup for stuff like that. We'll see. From what I've heard, the Zodiac Age version more complicated sphere grid. Yeah, that sounds reasonable. From what I've heard, the Zodiac Age version of FF12 puts things down in FF12 so that everybody can only have, I think, 2 jobs. Which sounds interesting. Because OG FF12 had the whole thing of, like, everybody could learn everything. Yeah. I know there was significant rebalancing done in the International Zodiac Job System version. And then I know they rebalanced it again in Zodiac Age. So, see how that goes. Yeah, so do I. Feel like it's coming soon, but I was debating starting it before I started this. What was it? Very little started this actually. I had everything set up to start it. Like the stream was set up for it. I'd set up the game and everything, make sure everything was properly configured, and was ready to go and just decided very last minute, like, now we'll do something else. Yeah, I got a bunch of stuff that I want to be playing. Still want to push through one of these tactical RPGs. And I finished Metroid Fusion again. Realised it'd been a while since I'd actually played that, like on or off stream. So I finished that again. I'm kind of in between games again, which is always the worst place for me to be. So what is that? I'm looking at making a start on a Final Fantasy VI ROM hack that caught my interest a while back. Called Divergent Paths. I think I've linked it on the Discord before. I know I've definitely talked about it on stream before. Oh, jeez. the idea is, like, it rewrites a bunch of the FF6 storyline. It sounded kind of interesting. So I'm kind of debating starting that. I'll tell you one game that I'm always looking at starting. And, like, I just haven't. And that's Rayman 2. I have done it before. I had the PlayStation version as a kid. But I want to play the Dreamcast version. Rayman 2 is a weird thing in the various different versions that it had over the years. Had, like, various different positives and negatives. And the PS1 version was kind of weird. And especially of the versions that came out at the time, the PS1 version might have been the weakest. Yeah, so I played the PlayStation version, and I know the N64 version came out first. And I think the Dreamcast version came out very soon after, and the PlayStation version came after that. So I want to do the Dreamcast version, and then at some point after that do the PS2 version. Which I've had for years. I got a Rayman triple pack a long time ago for PS2. Yeah, Rayman. It might have been labelled as a 10th anniversary pack, but like I paid £10 for it, and it came with Rayman 2 Revolution, which I think is just called Rayman Revolution over here, which is a PS2 remake of Rayman 2. Rayman 3 Hoodlum Havoc and Rayman, which is a Rayman multiplayer game. I paid £10 for it. It was like, cool, three Rayman games. I never finished Rayman 3 back in the day. I wasn't super into the costume idea. But I'd be absolutely down to give that game another try. Yeah, I never finished it. At this point, I have Rayman 3 HD on, I think, PS3, but I definitely have it on Xbox. Because it's backwards compatible. So I'd like to do Rayman 3 at some point. Honestly, I kind of wish I enjoyed the original Rayman more than I do. It's like, it's a cool game, but it's also just kind of bullshit to play. But I'd like to go through the early Rayman games, especially the 3D ones. I'd love to be in, like, just the mood or, like, disposition to play more 3D platformers. I'd love to be playing more 3D platformers, but I have serious trouble focusing on them these days. I wish I was more into them, especially because it's a genre that it died for a long time and has kind of come back a little bit, but not a huge amount. Stuff like Hat in Time and Ukulele and Crash Bandicoot 4. I guess Ratchet and Clank still going. But it's not as big as it used to be, like, not by far. Nintendo stuff doesn't count. Because Nintendo put out whatever they want. I wish we could get new F-Zero. But that's going to do it for us for today. I want to thank everybody for joining the stream. I would really appreciate the support. Big special thank you to everybody in the chat, so it's always the best part of the stream. Bane, Clem, Teak, Nelson. Thank you so much for joining me and keeping me company. Not sure when we'll be back. I've got some stuff I need to get done tomorrow. And then I'm back in work early again on Saturday, so it won't be an evening stream. Probably Sunday, I guess. With something. I need to get Outbreak set up, but that'll probably start next week. Get more people, like, just labeled down for it. If you are interested in joining us for Outbreak Multiplayer, there will be those events will be happening on 8 PM British Summer Time. We will be using the private server you can find if look up Playing Outbreak online. You'll find it. on PCSX2, PS2 emulator. So if you can run it and you're interested in joining us, come join us. The big caveat is that we will be on mic, and you will be pretty much required to be on microphone to communicate so we can play it properly. But yeah, look forward to that. So, with that, there's not really anything else to say except thank you all for watching, have yourselves a fantastic time of day, and take care. We'll catch you next time, guys. Bye.